Italy has fallen to populism and fascism. A political earthquake in Italy has sent shockwaves, and a mood of worry has dawned across Europe and America. And why? Because for the first time, Italy has gotten a woman prime minister. Yes, that is shocking, but has also become a worrying concern. First, why is it shocking? Because for the first time in 76 years of Republic Italy, as a woman leader won the post of prime ministership. And what is worrying in that? Why is she being considered dangerous to Italy and the world order? Because the first woman prime minister could also take Italy towards dictatorship, towards fascism. The world fears that Benito Mussolini's fascism will make a comeback through the reigns of its first woman prime minister, which had caused devastation and havoc once upon a time to the world order, particularly during the Second World War. And let's not forget, Benito Mussolini was also Hitler's accomplice, a good friend, meaning almost 100 years later it seems that fascism and Nazism has come back knocking on the doors of Italy. Hi, I'm Shruti Vyas, and Italy has got a new government and its first female Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni. Meloni is the populist leader of Italy and belongs to the party Brothers of Italy. And their coming to power is being considered as the rise of the most right-wing government that has come in power since the Second World War, leading the world to descend into a pall of skepticism and worry. The fear is that, like Mussolini, the new government in power may too shake and stir the peace of Europe. But first, let me illuminate you with who Giorgia Meloni, the first female Prime Minister of Italy, is. Well, she is unlike the previous female leaders that history had brought to us. From Margaret Thatcher, Indira Gandhi, to Angela Merkel, to even the current Prime Ministers like Jacinda Ardern or Theresa May, or the Vice President of USA, Kamala Harris. Each have been doyens of their time, leaving a legacy of political grit that is impressionable and impressive at the same time. But Italy's new Prime Minister, Meloni, well, she will be quite different. And why do I say so? Well, for starters, she is not a feminist of the book, by the book. She firmly believes that a woman's rise should be based on merit and not gender, which is why she said during her campaign that she will not help female representation or increase women's rights when she gets into power. Even though she's an unmarried mother, her family planning policies, her dedication to the traditional family is being looked with suspicion. The female celebrities, the fashion designers of Italy, the progressives are regarding her coming to power with fear and disdain. They are skeptical and worried of her prime ministership, while for the rest of the Italy, well, they in totality got swayed and charmed by her rhetorics, voting her party in majority. Also, the Italian political culture has been infamous for its machismo, which is why her victory is considered remarkable in Italy. For she will be the first female who would be leading the country 76 years after the foundation, where previously 30 men have served as prime minister before her. But Giorgia Meloni becomes the first female populist leader of this newer time, breaking up with the past of Italy. And though the statistics and the oddity of her past are so favorable to her, the world is looking her coming to power with much grim and reservations. For if she did not nurture an ideology that she does, the world would have indeed welcomed her with open gracing arms. But why is the world so wary of her prime ministership, of her party Brothers of Italy? Because in Brothers of Italy, which Meloni has led since 2014, has an underlying and sinister familiarity of the past. Her party maintains the fascist slogan, God, Family, Fatherland, and their logo still features the tricolour flame symbol which was once used by the Italian socialist movement, aka the MSI. The Brothers Party was formed a decade ago to carry forth the spirit and legacy of the extreme right in Italy, which dates back to the Italian social movement, the party that was formed in place of the National Fascist Party, which had got banned after the World War II. And today, just weeks before the 100th anniversary of the March on Rome, the October 1922 event that had put Mussolini in power, Italy today has a former MSI activist for its prime minister and a government that is rooted in fascism. And quoting the words of Ignazio La Russa, Meloni's predecessor and as the head of the Brothers of Italy, he says, and I quote, "We are all heirs of El Duce, aka Benito Mussolini." The political will of the Italian social movement MSI to return the far right to power had never waned. The collapse of communism in the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe created a new space for the right to flourish. That is why there came Berlusconi and his new party Forza Italia. Berlusconi's short-lived centre-right government of 1994 also had included the Northern League and brought the MSI's neo-fascists into a governing coalition for the first time in Europe since 1945. The new Prime Minister Meloni had joined the MSI's youth wing in 1992 as a teenager and had echoed praise for the dictator, calling Mussolini a good politician. In an interview she had said, and I quote, "Everything he did for Italy." So how did Meloni become such a big hit? What swayed the Italians towards her and her right-wing politics? Well, there are a couple of reasons. First, she played on the void that had been widened in the politics of Italy too. The weakness of the Italian centre-left that had struggled to package its ideas in ways that could connect with the voters, she cashed on it, which is also the reason why Democratic Party, the biggest force on the left, won only 19% of the vote. Second, she also cashed on the outsider card, like every second populist leader of today's time. She has spoken about how she was pushed to sit out the race for mayor of Rome when she was pregnant, and how she faces gender-based online threats and abuse. The fact that she is an unmarried or working mother and was also raised by a single mother became a huge hit among the Italian women, something that many Italian women found relatable. And third, the acceleration of Italy's democratic backsliding, something that is happening in many places all over the world. And most important, the economic doom that continues to grip Italy since 2000. Ever since 2000, the GDP per person in Italy has not grown. Almost a quarter of young Italians are not in employment, education, or training, becoming by far the worst level in the European Union. So then why should the world, particularly the European Union and America, be wary of her? For the same reason which threatens the world order when Donald Trump or Viktor Orban of Hungary or Vladimir Putin poses. Work ideology and illegal immigrants, the idea of our whole identity is under attack, cashing on hard right nationalism, and the voters, they want to try something untried and untested in these newer times. As for Italy, well, Meloni and her party has no idea of governing a government. As such, the economists feel that she will lose control of Italy's mountainous debt stock and will mess with the European Union. Her coalition also includes parties that are led by Silvio Berlusconi and Matteo Salvini, two untrustworthy men with a record of tricky relations with Brussels. Word is there will be a lot of clashes between the three, trying hard to shift the crown of power among themselves. And in a country that has had 30 prime ministers and more than twice that many governments since 1946, this definitely sounds like a recipe that is bound to be a disaster. As for how good a prime minister Giorgia Meloni will be, well, in an interview, Hillary Clinton had remarked on how right-wing parties can sometimes appear better at promoting women. Women like Meloni are protected by patriarchy, she said, because they are often the first to support the fundamental pillars of male power and privilege. Meloni's party slogan, God, Fatherland, Family, celebrates those very pillars of power. However, it also comes from Benito Mussolini's dictatorship. So, in matters of women empowerment or emancipation, how good will Meloni will be? Well, you never know in time. She could prove to be a surprise. Maybe she does become a defender of women and her rights. Even though her party has rolled back women's rights and there is more doubt than cheer. For in localities where her party has been governing, that is the Brothers of Italy, they had made abortion services, the procedure that has been legal in Italy since 1978, very hard to access. But either way, I feel Meloni does deserve an applause for breaking that rigid glass ceiling and taking over the reins of a land that is dipped head to toe in machismo. And maybe her prime ministership may not be as sinister as the world is making it. Maybe it could be a fresh whiff that Europe too needs. Or maybe in the newer times, she may not be as dipped in the ideology of Benito Mussolini as we assume it is. For now, all we can do is wait and watch. Thank you for listening. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel for all the latest gossip on politics and my take on world affairs.